it's been a little bit since we had a video come out. Life gets busy, but that doesn't mean things stop happening in the fish basement. So let's get you caught up on everything that's been going on in the fish basement. Obviously, you saw the thumbnail. We got new fish. Technically, we're going to show new fish in 4 tanks today, but there's actually new fish for 5 tanks. The other one's saltwater, so we're going to get to that one in another video. But today, we're going to take a look at the 220 behind me, the 125 Malawi River, and the 2 double DIY builds. Let's jump straight into it. All right, so not only are we going to show the new fish we have for the tanks, but we'll give a little updates on how the tanks are going, especially some of these newer tanks, you know, like the Malawi River, where, you know, this was just rebooted not that long ago, and I'm pleased to say that everything is moving along as expected. So in terms of the new fish, you're probably seeing, you know, all these Malawi cichlids, and they're not new, but what is new is lots and lots of plecos, which of different types. There's a brown pleco in the back there, albino pleco here, bushy nose pleco, and some super red bushy nose pleco as well. And a fish that I'm not sure I'm going to be able to find because I hardly ever see them, but there is 3 Synodontis eruptus catfish in here now. They came in very small. Lately, all the fish come in very small and I have to grow them up. But since there was no risk with putting these small Synodontis in here, they are in the tank already, but trying to find them to film them is no easy task. But let me walk you through what's been going on with the tank. So the number one thing is the African river fish and the Rift Lake fish are getting along well. You can see them all sort of hanging together, which they do most of the time, and no aggression for any of that. So that is a super positive thing. And the other one is that the plants, the plants are doing well. They're adjusting. A lot of these got moved over from other tanks, so obviously there's adjustment period. But they are doing pretty good, and the fish aren't bothering them. And then the other thing is I put new substrate over old substrate, so what's to be expected with that is you're going to have die-off underneath. You're going to get some algae, some diatom growth, and it's got to burn off essentially. So that has been happening. Early on, it was completely covered, and now it's all breaking apart. That's the system. That's nature correcting the situation. So in nature, you obviously will have situations where you have something on the bottom and it gets covered up, and what was growing on there, the algae, the bacteria, dies off because the conditions change. But nature knows how to take care of that. It has organisms that are detrivores, or it has bacteria that breaks down that way. So, and that's what's happening here. So as long as you have an environment where the inputs match up with the positive aspects of the environment. So what's the positive aspects of the environment? Water movement, dissolved oxygen in the water flow, a balance between plants and fish. Those are all things that are going to give you good results with time and allow nature to do its thing with bacteria and microorganisms to break down anything that's out of balance, like you get when you put fresh substrate over old substrate. You create an imbalance, but because there's so many positive inputs in this aquarium, it's able to balance itself back out if you just give it time. So all in all, the 125 Malawi River tank doing great. Hopefully the Synodontis catfish will grow quickly and I'll be able to show them off because they are beautiful fish. So, but in the meanwhile, I've been enjoying the plecos and certainly been enjoying the African cichlids themselves, because these guys are, out and about. And also some of these ones that the colors seem very subtle right now, they're starting to grow bigger and some of their colors are starting to come in. So that'll be nice, because you've got these super bright yellow labs and then everybody else is, certainly hasn't grown into their adult coloration yet. So definitely looking forward to that happening. Okay, staying in the main part of the fish basement, we have the 220 Flooded Forest Amazon Aquarium. Now we know this is going to have Discus in it, but they are not here yet. I've been building this tank up slowly, and I'm not going to put the Discus in until really pretty much everything else is good to go. So this is where I get into talking about ordering fish. So the new fish here are obviously all these neon tetra, and also these rummy nose tetra, and cory cats, and plecos. Now the good is been Jadron Aquatics and Tampa Bay cichlids. Multiple orders from both of those guys, and great. Fish are great. The communication was great. The shipping was great. The packaging, all that stuff, top notch. No, you know, absolutely awesome. Now, on the other hand, these other ruby nose tetra, those came in from Live Aquaria. And so Live Aquaria right now gets a mixed bag from me. Everything I order from them from Diver's Den that comes out of Wisconsin, it's great. Fish look great, packaging is great, everything. Lately, I mean, because I've ordered them from a long time, but lately, regular fish you order from them, they come from their Hawthorne, California facility, they've been dropping the ball. So, and it's just kind of been getting progressively worse. And this last order was the worst one I had, which is actually going to cause me to pause purchasing any fish from them. So what I got was 30 rummy nose tetra, of which there's probably only 3 left. They came in bags, 10 each in a bag, and those bags smelled to high heaven of ammonia right when they got here. Also mixed in the bag was other fish that are rummy nose tetra, like a zebra danio and a red eye tetra, you know, I'm sorry, not a glow light tetra. They were mixed in there with the rummy nose. And you know, when fish are in a bag full of ammonia water, all their color goes out. I couldn't see. You know, I'm obviously trying to triage and save these fish to get them in here. And you know, so to get fish you didn't even order that are certainly of lesser value than a rummy nose tetra, and worst off just getting fish packed in bags full, you know, where they're just ammonia was insane. The bags were deflated. Oh, the way they were in the box, they were all, there was not enough padding there to keep all the bags where they obviously been bounced all around. It was just a mess. So, like I said, I'm focusing my effort on other places. So Jattern and Tampa Bay, they get my seal of approval. I'm looking at Dan's Fish. I'm looking at other guys to try to fill in, because I just don't trust Live Aquaria right now for anything that isn't Diver's Den. So, you know, what can you do? They've been good for a long time, so hopefully they'll get it back together, but they definitely, you know, my experience has been dropping the ball a bit. So the other thing we have in here is the Emerald Cory cats. We have, you know, a whole school of those guys. They're very small. Like I said, everything's been coming in very small lately. And there is also 5 leopard frog plecos in here, but they're really hard to see. They're also very small as well, but you know, I do see them from time to time. And as well as the plants. Plants are growing in good. We're seeing, you know, new growth here, sprouting off. We're seeing, well, we're seeing new sprouts. We're seeing new growth everywhere on all of them, and all throughout the back, everything. So, like these guys over here, they've actually put on a few inches. And the other thing you might see is that I didn't clean the glass or anything like that, because I've been cultivating quite the snail colony in here. They've been coming back strong, so, and I'm happy to have them. So, just letting them do their job and clean off all the glass and everything, and they've been just booming. So everything in here is right on schedule, right on track. My focus right now is to build up the rummy nose colony in here and get all the other support fish that I want. I still want to build up some more Cory cats, and we'll see what else. But then I'll start looking for the Discus. So we're going to get everything lined up, and then we're going to pull the trigger, and we're going to get some baby Discus in the flooded forest. All right, 750-gallon Amazonian Islands build. I know what you're thinking. You're saying, hey, Aquarium Domain, what's up? You couldn't clean the algae off the glass? I mean, you're making a video and you leave that on there? There's a reason, trust me, there's a reason. And that reason is when I came in to first get ready to start filming, I noticed there's tiny baby plecos all over the front glass. I was like, holy cow. I actually started to clean it, and they scattered everywhere, so I stopped because I want to leave that food for them on the front glass. But it's pretty awesome. There's lots and lots of baby plecos in here, and that kind of tips the, gives you the idea of what some of those new fish in here were. Is they were bushy nose plecos. I put 20 broken up over albino, regular, and super red, and they're just all throughout the tank, and obviously they've already bred, so I think they're doing well at home. And then the other fish though for here is, you probably noticed the big school. Got that big school up at the top of red eye tetra. Now these are one of the bright spots from Live Aquaria, is that I ordered these from them and they came in fine. They're all very healthy and it was the right fish and everything. But of course in the same order, I tried to get some more Buenos Aires tetra, and instead they sent me 5 albino Buenos Aires tetra, which, you know, I mean, they're nice fish, but that's not what I ordered. and 2 of them were in bad shape when they got here. The other 3 are fine. So that's you know, not ideal. So, but fortunately I do have my school of red-eye tetra, and I have decided that the other school for this tank, since the red-eye tetra, they school well and they stay up really high in the tank, so I didn't have anything up there, so that was solid. But I want to get something that's a mid-level schooler, so I'm looking at maybe like bleeding heart tetra or serpate tetra, something like that, to sort of fill in that middle gap. So we'll have the high-level schools, the middle, then of course on the bottom we got all the Cory cats. But I did also get more cichlids for the aquarium, and these guys are really cool. These are from Tampa Bay cichlids, and it's a group of 3 blue acara. So there's one there, one down there, and a 3rd one down there. And these guys are just beautiful. The blue acara are definitely just a fish that I don't think gets their due for, you know, the colors they can turn on. I mean, the orange, red, blue, you know, just crazy. Really loving those guys, and they fit in, you know, just like from day one, just boom. It's like they've been here their whole lives. So doing really good there. So that's all the new fish for the 750. But the other thing I would just say is that the tank itself doing great, except for probably lighting, and this goes for both of the new double DIY builds. I just don't think the strip lights I have, they're just, I mean, I'm asking too much, you know, these strip lights on a tank that's huge, you know, it's a humongous tank. So even with low light plants in there, you know, they're not dying, but the growth is very slow. You know, I like slow growers because I don't want to be an aquatic farmer, but that's too slow. So I have an idea, and I think I'm just going to go ahead and do some custom DIY lighting for both of these tanks. Something that I can put on top, but also move for me to get in there and do stuff, but also provide more lighting, more spaced out lighting, and brighter to get the plants going in both of these tanks. So for the 750, that's pretty much the update. I expect there to be lots of larger baby plecos, easier to see in the near future, and there's also possibly, I'd alluded to some rescue fish. They had changed their mind, they were going to keep them, and then I got a call and they sort of changed their mind again, so we'll see. If that ever happens, I'm saving a spot for them in the tank. They'll be ready to go, and there'll be they're pretty interesting fish. I think people will like it. They're definitely a fish people like, and a fish I've never kept before, which is always cool because I've kept a lot of fish for a long time, so to get something I've never even had before, that's pretty interesting. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the 750. Oh, I almost forgot. How can I forget? This is one of the big things. So remember the aquascape in the front? We had all the plants and the wood and everything. You can see it's all cleaned out pretty much, because when I feed, most of that food comes down here, and these guys are such aggressive feeders that they've just moved everything. I actually left, you know, that piece of wood and everything that they had pushed from all the way over here over to there. Now I'm going to resituate that back up in one of the rear island areas, as well as this one over here. So we'll get it straightened back up, but I'm going to have to leave these front areas much more open, because these guys they're just big bruisers, you know. You got these Severum and True Parrots and everybody, heck, even the Geos and the Angels, you know, they're all down there rooting around, and you just can't have all that plant and wood there in an area where they're feeding. It's just, you got to have an open sand area because they're just going to rearrange that stuff. And we all knew that with this tank. It's always a crapshoot with bigger cichlids, whether you know what plants you can keep with them, and also how you can keep the plants. You got to give them their space. Like we see, like in the 3,000 gallon, you keep a lot of plants because it's so huge. But even that one has grown in, which, oh my God, next time you see that tank, it's grown in so thick. Now those cichlids are starting to thrash through the plants and everything. I'm actually having to cut it back. So you can see that even in a humongous tank, when you got cichlids and plants, you're going to have some work to do to make it all work out in the long term. So we're gonna resituate these plants here and here into the back area of the tank. And the other thing that happened with the other plants that were in the front, the ones that got knocked up and they float to the surface, they all ended up in the 125 gallon Malawi River tank. So, you know, nothing goes to waste. They have a new home. They're more appreciated over there by the Malawi cichlids. And there's one of the plecos, cruise around the back there on the rock. doing his job, keeping things clean. Yeah, so we'll get that situated, and we'll work on getting that other school fish for the 750, and of course the lighting. I think, I mean, I love the tank and I love watching it, but I think it's going to really pop once we get some better lighting, especially in the back. I really don't feel like you can't, and this tank is 5 feet front to back, and it's really hard to appreciate that depth, which we know is hard through glass, but it's even harder when you really don't have adequate lighting. So we're going to work on those things, and then we'll circle back around and we'll do another update on the 750 relatively soon. All right, last but certainly not least, the 600-gallon Asian jungle aquarium. So they are finally here. Those are not additional tiger barbs you see. Those are the clown loaches. They are in the 600-gallon. There's a school of 8 of them. You see a couple of them right here. And whoop, they are moving fast. And I'm pleased to say that they are doing the same thing as the other fish in the 600-gallon, which is staying out and about and not just hiding all the time. They just, you know, I think it's the same situation with the other fish where they have so much habitat that they feel very comfortable, and they're happy to be out and about and not hide all the time, which is awesome. That's certainly part of the goal of having a heavily planted aquarium like this, and a big aquarium, is to give them that comfort level. So I've definitely been enjoying these clown loaches more than any clown loaches I've ever had before, because I get to watch them a lot because they're out and about swimming around a lot. So that is very cool, you know. And it's also funny, like small, I mean, it's just crazy how close in appearance small clown loaches are to regular tiger barbs, you know. It's just definitely pretty funny. But so for the 600-gallon, those are the only new fish. Just the 8 clown loaches are the new fish. Happy to say they came in tiny, like I told you, but as you can see, they've grown up pretty good, pretty fast, and they've all done very well being moved over here. I mean, they've just taken to this tank, just like the other fish. Really, all the fish in the 600-gallon, these guys took to this tank immediately. I mean, it was 15 minutes, and you'd swear that they'd been living in this tank for years, you know. So same situation with them, which I'm very happy about. And same situation with with the 600 as with the 750 Amazonian Islands. It's just not enough light. There's growth. I mean, you look down here and these crypts, you know, which are the lowest of lowest light plants, there's growth, you know. I'm satisfied with the crypt growth. You know, I'm not trying to grow the plants too quickly, but there's just not enough for the swords in the back. These other guys here, growth is minimal. I should probably learn the name of that plant so I could actually say it properly in the video. Yeah, and even the Anubias, there's a few new leaves and stuff, but it just it's a bit dim, you know. I'm going to do the same lights that I built for the 750. I'm going to build the same sort of set here. It's going to be a combination where I'm going to do some framing up top that'll give me the flexibility to move around that I want, and I'm going to put pendant style lights that are going to hang down from that framing and be right over top of the covers on the top of the tank, and I'll reuse those other lights. I've got some ideas. So the fish basement annex is obviously going to take longer than expected because the price of every building material went through the roof, and the economy right now is a little crazy with some inflation and everything. So I'm having to hold off on that, unfortunately. But when I do, I've got a plan for like a rack system being in there, and those lights will go in there. So they won't go to waste or anything like that. But definitely, I think, I know pretty much. So after giving them plenty of time to see how they would do, I know the lights aren't going to quite cut it here. So I'm going to go with the new solution, and I think it's going to be a lot better. It's going to brighten up the tank. Same situation with the 750. This is 4 feet front to back, and it really trails off back there. And obviously only really the crypts are excelling with this lighting. So yeah, I think it's time to make that move. All right, so on the sticker wall behind me, I got the Tampa Bay cichlid sticker up there and the Jasmine Aquatic sticker. Awesome work, guys. I'm gonna keep ordering from you guys. If any of you watching this know of good online places to order from that I haven't talked about, let me know. I'm always looking to try out some new guys. And Live Aquaria Hawthorne facility in California, you gotta get your stuff back together, man. You're slipping a little bit over there. You know, like I said, I ordered from you a long time. I hate to, you know, not support the business, but you gotta do better than that. And Live Aquarium Wisconsin facility, Divers Den, you guys are doing a good job. So that's the update on these 4 tanks for now. Lots of things always happening, right? We got, you know, there's stuff going on the saltwater side, of course. I'm getting ready to do some big sort of clean up, cut down of the plants and everything, the 3,000 gallon. So we'll have to take a look at that before and after. And at some point, I got to get the time to get the top all reconfigured on the 3,000 gallon. And of course, the aquarium basement annex, I'm going to do it when I can do it. So as soon as things straighten up to where it's affordable to do it, feasible to do it, I will kick that off. And that'll be pretty crazy. That'll be definitely a fun one. And anyone who's subscribed to the channel will get to see that one go from the very get-go as we build that out, and we'll figure out all the tanks we're going to build. I got some crazy ideas, even crazier than the 3,000 gallons. So we're talking like river systems and stuff. So kind of interesting ideas. See what you guys think when we get closer to it. But it's on the radar for the future. So when it's possible to do it, I will do it. But until then, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys soon.